Good morning. Good morning, everyone. All right. New day, fresh start. New month, fresh start. Whew. April was a bit of a bloodbath, but we're going to set that aside. I put some new rules in place for May, given 2 big red days in a row. I've reduced my share size, and I have also reduced the size of my account so that I won't. I'm just taking some stuff off of here because I have some things left in my account, but I just want to make sure I understand what settled funds I have left. Because I was going to be reducing my account size anyway with the pattern day trader rule, but given what's been going on with my account, I'm going to reduce everything, reduce my share size, and just really work the fundamentals. I learned a lot yesterday. I wish I hadn't learned the way I did, but I did. Okay. So let's see what's on the scanner this morning. That was probably one of the big lessons from yesterday, is that I didn't trade the most obvious stock of the day because I was really hung up on the fact that it didn't have news. And I think it really hit home that every criteria and indicator should not be weighted equally. Okay. So I ended up trading stocks that weren't the most obvious stocks in the market. And I think that was part of my problem, is being too rigid. So I want to be adaptable when it's optimal for my trading and stick to the rules when it's optimal for my trading. And learning how to be a little bit more flexible, I think, is going to be very important for me. So let's see what's popping up today. Let's check how the market's doing. How is the stock market doing today, May 1st? New month, right? We're all starting over today. Futures are showing a slight rise following record-setting close, driven by a surge in Magnificent 7 tech earnings. Okay, so today might not be so bad. I tend to do pretty well on Fridays. Despite the positive trend, Meta dropped over 8%. First quarter GDP grew at 2% annual pace, missing the 2.3% forecast, indicating slowing growth. Okay, that's a big deal, right, for the macro markets. Earnings seasons, interest rates, the 10-year Treasury yield is hovering around 4.39%. Okay, so a lot of that isn't necessarily directly relevant to trading small cap momentum stocks, but it's helpful to kind of understand context, right? It gives us context. It doesn't directly affect how I trade these small cap stocks, but it might affect my long-term investments, and it also affects my mindset, right? If I know the market's cold, I'm going to be more cautious. Okay, so let's see what's popping up today. WTO, XXII. Neither one has news, but I'm not going to be as rigid about that. I think as far as my criteria for stock selection, and I actually went through Ross Cameron's book again this week because I did a book review. I'm going to be posting that tomorrow. I'm going to be doing book reviews maybe once a month, maybe every couple of weeks, when I finish a book, on different books that have influenced my trading. So rereading that book kind of hit home that we need to stick to our rules, but also that's where the critical thinking skills come in, right? All right, so WTO, let's see, that one popped up. It is over $2. The float is only 1.68 million. That sounds great. Everything looks good. It gapped up more than 10%. The relative volume is the criteria that I'm going to be really honing in on. I mean, I focused on volume a couple of weeks ago, but it's really hit home how important that criteria is. Just repeatedly, it's hammered home to me over and over. So the only thing it's missing is news. Let's see, something else seems to be popping up. Oh, that's WTO. It's breaking above VWAP. Let me just look quickly at XXII. Okay, now. So WTO, let's look at if it's hard to borrow. It's hard to borrow. Okay. Total volume is over 500,000. So right now the MACD is flipping from red to green. This is another indicator that I've been very rigid about when it's really a lagging indicator. So I think it's more of a guide. So now it's popping up. I wouldn't have taken this trade though, because it's below VWAP. And that's another indicator that I'm beginning to see is one of the ones that I should pay attention to the most. You know, not all indicators are equal. And I'm a new trader, so I'm still figuring out what works for me, right? But I'm feeling like VWAP and the 9 EMA are really ones that I'm going to pay attention to. So now it's above VWAP, which is good for me. It doesn't have news, and I want to see a news catalyst for sure. That makes my conviction stronger that I'm making a good decision, but I'm going to be a lot less rigid after yesterday and realizing that I missed the boat on HCAI because I was being just too inflexible. Okay, and I think some of it was fear because I had a red day on Thursday. So I've reduced my share size and reduced my account size, which is reducing my exposure. And I was going to reduce my account size anyway when the pattern day trader rule kicked in on Thinkorswim. So this is good for me. However, I will not increase my position size until I have demonstrated that I have established some consistency at 100 shares. I was at 500. I've pulled it back down to 100. And I'm going to work my way back up the right way. It's the way it works, right? You got to make sure. Okay, so this is a potential pullback. Bull flag pullback. And again, this one has no news. And I do see that this is kind of stair-stepping down. So why did it pop up right at 7? I don't know. Or yeah, let's see, right before 7. Why did it pop up? I don't know. But I do see a pullback happening here. And it's tapping the 9 EMA. Okay. And so after rereading Ross's book this week, like kind of skimmed through it again because I've read it like 4 times. So, you know, it's good to kind of keep revisiting the fundamentals, but the book really, and you'll see in my review tomorrow, it's really not about technique as much as the psychology and risk management. So I'm going to really be focusing on that. So here, right now, my profit loss ratio here is, I want to see that the profit section here between my potential entry and my target would be more than 1, more than this here. I was being very rigid and trying to calculate it to the penny, but I think that that's very unrealistic given the pace of small cap momentum stocks. So I'm going to be eyeballing it, and I think that's good enough. I mean, I can kind of check the numbers over here and quickly do the math in my head rounding up. So even though this is breaking the bull flag pullback, I think I'm going to wait until I see at least a 1-to-1 ratio here. All right. So, but I do think that this is one to keep an eye on. It doesn't have news, but it is meeting my other 4 indicators, criteria for stock selection. Also, the third thing that I've done is I have reduced, I'm only going to take stocks that are between $1 and $10. I'm not going over $10 while I'm in this period of trying to recover. Okay, so there's 3 things that I'm doing. 3 things that I'm doing to manage my risk. 1, I reduced my account size down to 10,000. Okay, I don't think I'm at risk of over trading. I very rarely do that, but just to be on the safe side, I reduced my share size to 100 shares, and I tightened my price parameter. So I will only be looking at stocks between $1 and $10. So this did make a move. Wow. But I don't know. I just didn't feel like the profit loss ratio seemed too close for me, but maybe I was wrong. But this is great. I will be looking for another pullback. Okay. So, let's see. And again, I think I'm beginning to realize you have to know the rules, but you have to use some critical thinking, and there is definitely some judgment. It does feel a lot more like poker, you know, where you have unknown information. And now I see why, like Annie Duke's books, which I got from Ross Cameron's videos, those really hit home in terms of like decision making. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of these. And I'm going to start looking up here for another pullback. So this is the top of the move. Right now, this is the top of the low candle. And I still don't see news, but you know. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see what this is all about. I mean, I'm not going to, I wouldn't take this trade because again, the profit loss ratio isn't quite what I'm looking for. And now we're at high of day, right? Now I could flip to the daily chart, right? And I don't see my 200 simple moving average on here. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off. I wanted the simple moving average. Where's the simple moving average? Moving average exponential. No, I just want like the simple moving average. Oh, daily SMA. That sounds good. Let's try that. Let's see what that does. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. Apply, save set as daily. I want it. I don't even see it. Where is it? Oh, well, there's all these splits and things like that. Okay, so let's go back to the 1 minute. And now it's looking choppy to me. This is like a little false breakout with a topping tail. And this, of course, has a topping tail. But I am seeing the volume pull back. So now this profit loss ratio looks more acceptable. However, I like the volume bars are going down. Okay, I like that. Wait a minute, it took all my other indicators off. Oh, that's why. Okay. Edit studies. I have to put it back. I guess it's keeping it for all charts. I saved it as, wait a minute. Let's see. Load study set. 1 minute. There we go. All right, so XTLB. XTLB also looks good. Let's see. XTLB. Let me take a quick look at that. Ooh. All right. So this is running up nicely. let me see. I'm curious. Let me look at the 10-second chart, XTLB. And taking a look at the 10-second chart here. All right. Okay. So it's already pulling back, but of course, you know, this topping tail does signal reversal, but now the price is below VWAP. So that is one of my indicators that I'm definitely sticking to. This one looks like it could be good still. See, it's breaking out. okay, I know I took profit very quickly, but I'm kind of going to be really conservative about that today because I had a really rough month of April. I'm going to be honest. Um, and I'm going to be conservative because also it doesn't have news, right? So I'm not going to, wow, it went up though. Look at that. Okay, and also I have to get used to the difference in the numbers. I did practice in the simulator yesterday afternoon with 100 shares to kind of get used to the math, but now everything's, the math's changed for me. If I'm trying to get 10 cents a share, right? I'm risking $10 and my goal is 10 or $20. So that was more of a scalp trade, but and I didn't look for an exit indicator. I'm going to just be honest. I just saw green and I got out. Which is my weekly goal, but I'm kind of prioritizing getting green and getting out today. So my first trade, let's see, I'm going to download these obviously to Trader View, but bull flag pullback. No, I'm just going to write down no exit indicator because I dropped the ball on that. But like I said, I'm getting used to the new math because I was using 500 shares. Now I'm only using 100 shares, so I have to get used to that, right? So I was risking $10, hoping to make 10 to 20. I only made 3. Kind of freaked out. I could have made the whole 20, I think here, but I'm just trying to get a little green, get my confidence back, honestly, because it was pretty shot. Let's see. I'm looking at, I'm going to look at WTO on the 10-second chart. Okay, that looks good. So now we have high of day of 319. So let's see if we have another pullback. The volume went up with the bars. This volume starting to go down. So I'm going to look for another pullback. Again, I'm really just trying to get my confidence back, guys. The last 2 days has been really rough. Yeah, and I can't handle another big red day. And honestly, I don't want to lose the money. My goal is to make money, and if I'm not consistent at 500 shares, I need to reduce my share size. That's how it works. I mean, if I'm a mom. If you have kids that can't handle watching TV and getting their homework done, you're going to have to, something's got to give. Looks like a micro pullback there. That was a little micro pullback. It dipped down. I didn't take it, but now see the volume's decreasing. Even though the price is going up, the volume's decreasing. So I'm going to wait and look for a real bull flag pullback, which this was. I just freaked out and wanted to be green. Is that so wrong? Oh, yeah, just trying to get some confidence back, people. All right, so, day trading is not for the weak-minded or the weak-hearted. We're the strong ones. Okay, so it's still going up. And this is a great example of what I did wrong yesterday. And maybe, oh, it's still, is this a micro pullback? Let's see. Now, this looks like it could be a potential micro pullback or a flat top breakout. I love those because the volume's decreased, but the top of the candle is still here. But now look at this. It's kind of some indecision here. But this is a great example of yesterday, this to me looks like the most obvious stock right now at the moment. And yesterday I completely discounted HCAI because it didn't have news, when that's not even the most important of the stock selection criteria. And news would be great. That definitely, you want all of your criteria to be pointing in the same direction, right? But they're not all weighted equally. And that level of discretion is something that I think comes with experience. And I'm just starting to realize that I need to start using that a little bit more. This could be a real pullback. And of course, there's a sweet spot, right? Because if you throw all the indicators out and use discretion on all of them, I think that's a recipe for disaster. But if you're too rigid, like I was yesterday, you're going to miss the move and then trade the stocks that aren't the best stocks in the market. So there must be a sweet spot, right? And I think that that's where experience really plays a role. So hopefully, see, this might be the low candle now. Hopefully I can lock into that. So yes, the price popped up a little bit, but I don't see the volume candle kind of confirming it. And now it's below the top of the previous candle body, not the wick, but so this looks like no. And it's tapping the 9 EMA. Yeah, so I'm curious, someone asked me in the chat during one of the live streams a while back, if there were indicators that, I'm more flexible on. And I was like, no, I'm so rigid. And I think that this is a personality trait as well. I really thought about this last night, and I was like, I think that I sometimes, especially when I'm new at something, I tend to be extremely rigid, which maybe is the right approach being new. But now I've been doing this for over a year, and, I'm not an overtrader. Right. That is so true, Scooter. Mm-hmm. That's true. And sometimes, like, I traded a stock on no news last week or the week before, and I felt confident doing it because it was other stocks in the sector were all had news, and the sector had news. So I was like, okay, I know that this has something going on, you know? Um, yeah, great point. I mean, that's true. I mean, there's just so many reasons why a stock will go up, right? Without direct news to that company. And I think I've been too rigid about it. Yesterday was a big lesson for me in more ways than one. Wow. Um, so it's okay. I'm going to, so now we're below the 9 EMA. And that's probably a pullback on the 5-minute chart, right? So if we look at the 5-minute chart, yep, there we go. It's a pullback on the 5-minute chart. Now I traded the 5-minute chart yesterday, and I don't do that very often. It was a good trade, but it might be, I don't know, I feel anxious the whole time that the trade is open. It's just, I feel anxious the whole time. So, I gave it a try yesterday, but I think I do feel more comfortable on the 1-minute chart. The 10-second chart is great for micro pullbacks, but it also is like, it's happening so fast. I don't know. I feel like the 1-minute for me is a real sweet spot. But I, just so you guys know, reduce share size. I did 3 things since my bloodbath, the month of April, the red month. My only red month this year, and wiped out a lot of my yearly earnings. And yeah, so based on that, I have reduced my account size, I've reduced my share size, and I've tightened my stock price parameter down to $1 to $10. So I won't be trading stocks over $10 until I get my confidence back and get some consistency at this level. Yeah, hoping and praying. I have tried it multiple times. I did it yesterday and it cost me big. I ignored my exit indicator. I ignored price hesitation. You can go back and watch my recap if you want to see something really sad. I ignored it, and to my peril, because I paid for it dearly. Yeah. As much as I've tried hoping and praying, it does not work. Absolutely not. So I'm really trying to let go of that particular strategy. But yeah, I I feel like not to be too woo-woo, but trading does often mirror like what's happening in my personal life, and so I do feel like um on some level, trading has become a bit of a personal journey for me, and sort of learning more about my own psychology and my weaknesses in my psychology and my emotions, and also what strengths do I have. So I really like that about it. But of course, it doesn't feel good when I'm learning too many lessons at once. I'd rather learn a few less lessons this week. Let's try to reduce the number of lessons for the next week or two. Yeah. So let's see. XLTB below VWAP. I'm going to say no to that. XXII again trailing below VWAP. So WTO, it's also kind of down below VWAP. So I've had one green trade today, which is kind of a scalp, and that's okay. Maybe that's what I need to do for the next couple of weeks, is just kind of scalp some green trades, get my confidence back. Good morning, James. Good morning. New month, right? New month, fresh start. So James, just to catch you up, I reduced my account size, which I was going to do anyway, because of the pattern day trader rule. So that's not really a huge thing. But I reduced my share size down to 100 until I'm consistent again. And I also tightened my price criteria. So now I'm only trading stocks under $10. So this morning it's 100 shares. I went from 500 to 100. And I'm going to stay there until I've demonstrated consistency. I've had to do this before. I've actually gone down to 10 shares because I was just having a really rough patch. I went back down to 10 shares, stayed there for like a week, and then went back up to 100 shares, and then built myself back up to 500. So I'm down to 100 shares, and I took one trade. I scalped $3. So now, of course, the math is different. And I did practice in the simulator yesterday afternoon to try to, get used to seeing the different numbers. And yeah, basically, it's honestly a huge relief. I know it feels like a step back to reduce share size, but it's the right thing to do. And it feels like a relief. Yeah, I'm green. I had one green trade. I'll show you back here. I took this, on this bull flag pullback, I got a breakout, and I didn't let it run. I was freaking out a little bit. I saw green and I took it. I could have let it run, but that's okay. I ignored my exit indicator, and I am putting that in my journal. But I think to get my confidence back, I'm okay just scalping a few trades, and just kind of, when I see green, maybe it's okay just to go with it, just to get that confidence back. And I feel really good having a small green trade right now. I feel really good about that. But I didn't use my exit indicators. If I had, I would have let it run. But I did let go of being rigid about certain indicators. I think I was way too rigid yesterday on HCAI. I should have traded that and not traded the other stuff, of course, because that was the most obvious stock, and I kept saying it on my live stream, but I was being too rigid. And this is where at a certain point we have to use some discretion. Being too free with all our indicators, I think, is going to lead to absolute chaos and huge red days, but they're not all weighted equally, right? I'm curious, feel free to put in the chat like what your top criteria and indicators are. Right now, after April has been a tough month, but I have learned more, I think, in April. And since I started live streaming and doing my recaps with you guys, I think I've learned more in that month than the last 5 weeks than I have in like the 3 to 4 months before that, honestly. But I'm curious, like, what you're seeing as the most important criteria for stock selection and indicators. I'm starting to feel like relative volume is the queen of stock selection, and that VWAP is maybe will be even the king of technical indicators, right? I'm starting to feel like those two things are really just across the board super, super, super important. And the news, of course, I want news that will strengthen my conviction that I'm making a good decision, but I'm not sure it's so necessary, because the whole live stream yesterday, I was like, oh man, I should be trading HCAI. I should be trading this. It looks so good. I saw a bunch of opportunities and I just was too rigid emotionally. So, oh wow, that's good. Those are good. Good for you, James. Did you also get that bull flight with what were the setups on those? That's awesome. Yeah, hi HG. I am green. Yes. So I'm green. I scalped a small green trade. However, I didn't look at my exit indicators. I saw that it was green. I got out. I could have gotten a lot more. This was the trade. I could have gotten a lot more on this one. But I just was like, oh, I'm green. I want to be green. um, so that's the honest truth on that. And honestly, it feels good. And I'm okay if I just scalp a few trades today. You know what? If that's what I need to do to get my confidence back, I am. Good morning, Haas. If I need to do that to get my confidence back, that's okay. I need a little boost today. And guys, listen, this is what I've done today. I see there's a bunch of people on here. Because of the month of April was such a bloodbath, okay, I'm doing the right thing today. I reduced my account size, which I was going to do anyway for the pattern day trader rule in a month, but I did it today. And I reduced my exposure and my risk. I reduced my share size from 500 to 100, and I reduced my price limit. Instead of trading stocks between $1 and $20, I'm only going to trade stocks between $1 and $10 to again reduce my exposure risk. So one of my big losses yesterday was on a stock that was almost $20 a share. And it really amplified the problem because I ended up in a jackknife and a falling knife. And yeah, it was rough. So to get my I'm doing the right thing, just like we would do in any other area of our lives. If we're struggling, minimize, reduce the exposure to risk, right? And then rebuild, right? And so I'm going to focus on the fundamentals and see like what I need to do to, okay, so we have something else popping up, LRHC. All right, so LRHC, well, this is, let me see what is going on here. So the float is under 1 million. The relative volume is well over 5 times the 50-day average, and it's gapped up more than 10% from the previous day's close. So this looks like a candidate. And again, the news thing, I'm going to be more lax on that. If I see good price action, the news is even better, but I learned my lesson yesterday, not being too rigid on that. So let me just look at the daily chart real quick for windows and gaps. Okay, well, this is always suspect of like splits and stuff like that because, okay, so and this one I will try to look at my exit indicators, which is my weekly goal. I completely ignored that on my on my first trade. I saw green and I was just like, I'm getting, and you know what, maybe that's okay today. I need the confidence boost, guys. All right, so let's see. It is hard to borrow on Thinkorswim. The total volume is more than 500,000. Those are two things that I am being really, checking beforehand. Hard to borrow, easy to borrow. It won't necessarily disqualify me from taking a trade, but it will factor into the decision. I'm starting to see that not all criteria and indicators are created equal. So I'm definitely going to be, try to use more discretion. I would rather trade the obvious best stock of the day with no news than a stock that has worse price action with news. And that's what I realized from yesterday. All right, so it looks like we have a pullback here. But now it's below VWAP. And that is one I'm really paying attention to. I think that VWAP is definitely one of my, and look at this, it's almost making, wow, yeah. So I would avoid this. I know I've screwed up a lot this week, but I know enough to avoid this. This is bad. I'm not a rocket scientist, but even I can tell that this is bad. So I don't like to get involved in stocks that make these huge red candles. That always makes me nervous. The same thing with the green candles. I'd rather see 2 or 3 candles moving up than one huge candle, because if I see one huge candle going up in like less than a minute, I feel like it's going to do exactly this. So SOBR is popping up on my scanner, but that is under $1. So I'm not going to look at that one. Let's see. ESPR. Let's take a look at this. This looks like a potential candidate. ESPR. Oh, let me guess. Yeah, acquisition. It's like we're getting acquired. The we're getting acquired chart. Yeah. Okay. What are your thoughts on XXII? It's trading at 156, up 48. I had that on my chart, on my scanner. I mean, on my watch list earlier, but it's below VWAP, right? Am I wrong? Let's see. I had it on my watch list earlier because I saw it pop up and it met my criteria for stock selection, right? It gapped up, it had volume, all of that. But right now, maybe it's worth watching for a break of VWAP, but I won't trade. I mean, I know if the MACD is green below, the MACD is green now, some people would trade this. I prefer, because I'm still really new, to trade above VWAP. And again, I don't know, maybe I'm being too rigid about it. I don't want to question every single thing that I do now, but I would be a lot more comfortable if this broke above VWAP, and then I would trade it there. That's just me. But it was on my watch list earlier because it had met, let's see, I'm looking for it. The float, yeah, the float is 1.1 million. It's over $1. It's over $2, which I like. The relative volume is just through the roof on this thing. I mean, you can see too, look, people are still trading it, right? It's got 37 million total volume right now. And yep, it's up 49%. So I think it's worth watching. It might curl back up above VWAP. Gotta remember the saying, buy low, sell high. I know, TJ, that's so like obvious. I clearly forgot that yesterday. Here, wait, I gotta clean my glasses, guys. Yeah, I clearly forgot that yesterday. Yesterday I was like, wait, buy high, sell low. Yeah. So today, hopefully I can get a couple of good green trades. I have one small, tiny green trade that I scalped on WTO, and honestly, that $3 feels fantastic right now. That $3 feels better than any of the wins I've had over the last 2 weeks, because it's like, okay, it was a good entry. I just ignored the exit indicators, and I'm going to put that in my journal, I promise, because that is my goal for the week. So, okay. So let's see. So yeah, I would say XXII is one to watch because it has a lot going for it. With the relative volume is crazy on that. ESPR, I'm taking that off the list because that's just an acquisition. WTO is where I got my one trade. Yay. Can we just celebrate that for a minute? I've never been so excited about $3 in my life. I think that, I did trade in the simulator yesterday afternoon a little bit at 100 shares to get used to seeing the math, because now I went from 500 shares to only 100 shares, and I just have to get used to the numbers looking different. So now, if I don't have a hard stop, like on a bull flag pullback, the low of the last candle is the stop. But if I say I'm doing a micro pullback, well, even that, I can do the last low candle and the micro pullback on the 10-second chart. But if I don't have like a really solid stop point on a setup, I'm going to use like 10 cents a share. So I have to kind of get used to the new profit loss ratio here. But I'm going to stay at 100 shares until I have demonstrated consistency. What time frame do you use for MACD? And settings to use for the MACD. So I use the standard settings for the MACD, which is 9, 12, and 26. But the signal line, I have to go back and look. One of them is the signal line, right? And one of them is, let's see, this here. I did a video on this. You would think I would have this memorized. Yeah, I use the standard settings, but I get rid of, like, when I go in, here, I'll show you. Edit studies. When I go into my MACD and I go into the settings, little settings gear here, when I first put the MACD on Thinkorswim, it has more stuff on there. And I set it to 12, 26, and 9, but I think that's already what it's at. And I try to like take off anything extra. Try to take off anything extra. I'm really just looking at, and I know that MACD is more complicated than this because I did a video on it so I could help myself understand it better. And it's more about the crossover of this signal line here. But I kind of think green go, red no. And that's a good point. Yes. And that's the thing. The default ones are the basic ones that people use. The one thing about the MACD, though, that has come up recently, and I did take it off my chart for one day, which is an absolute mistake, but it is a lagging indicator. Okay. So I definitely pay attention to the MACD, but it's a lagging indicator. So it's not happening. Like, so same thing. I mean, I guess so is the 9 EMA, right? But sometimes I forget that we're looking at, when we look at the MACD, we're looking at the past, right? So yeah. But I don't like a really cluttered chart, so I did experiment with taking it off and I really missed it. So I put it back on. Now down here I have the RSI and the ATR, average true range and relative strength index. I honestly don't know how to use them yet. I'm going to be doing a video this weekend so I can learn about it, and I'll be putting that out. Okay, so I mean, I have a basic idea of how it works, but you know, I really like to understand things a little bit more deeply if I can. So WTO is popping up again. Oh, things are coming off my chart, but it's just approaching VWAP. And again, the MACD is red, the volume bars are down, and we're below VWAP. So if it breaks above VWAP again, I will get in on it because I feel like this one, I like this one. Maybe because I got a trade on it. I don't know. But yeah, I missed this move here. And this was the move that I got. I mean, this was 1, 2, so there were 2 pullbacks, and then the third one just kind of. So if we look at the 5-minute chart, let's see. Now I took my 20 EMA off my charts. I felt like I wasn't really using it. I was trying to figure out. Yeah, the MACD will go green below VWAP, and some people will trade that recovery back to VWAP. Like I've traded a break of VWAP before, and I only trade that if the MACD is green before it breaks, and then I'll trade it. Yeah, I mean, lots of people trade a recovery back to VWAP. I just haven't found myself like super successful with it. You try to buy at the 20 moving average, not the exponential moving average, but the simple moving average. Okay. That's interesting. So you're looking for it to go down there because you want to buy at that level and then wait for it to go back up. Interesting. See, this is so helpful. Everyone does something different. I love that because I learned so much by hearing what you guys are doing. Yeah, that's what I've tried to do, James, is get that 1-minute candle on the breakout. I love this discussion. I love this. This is so great because when I go back to do my recaps every day, I actually, I put timestamps for my trades and I review those trades on my live stream, and I look at other parts of my live stream for my recap. And I always reread the chat, and I feel like this is a chat that I am going to really have to look at after because you guys are definitely putting out some good content here. Right. That, I think that's true. It's like someone that really understands three things is going to be, even if those three things aren't what someone else considers the most important three things, I feel like they're going to be pretty successful because they know that inside and out. I know some traders just trade, and I think these are more people that trade large caps and mid caps, but they'll trade like one or two stocks and that's it. And they understand that stock and they understand how it moves and they just stick to those stocks and they're really successful doing that. And I don't see anything wrong with that strategy. Um, in fact, that sounds like a great strategy for the afternoon, right? But wow, this is a great discussion. I love it. This is so great. Thanks, guys, for sharing your perspectives and your input. Um, and I don't take, as long as the criticism is constructive, I am all about it, because I know we're all here to improve, right? Okay, so WTO, I was hoping it would come back above VWAP, but so TJ, will you buy below VWAP if it's at the 20 EMA and then look for the recovery back up through VWAP? Is that, or do because a lot of people think of VWAP as kind of like that, the demilitarized zone, right? Um, yeah, I mean, it's Friday. Sometimes things are a little bit slow on Fridays, but let's see. What else is on the top gainer scanner? SST. All right, I'm going to take a look at SST. Let's see what that's all about. SST. Okay, yep, again, kind of made a move at 4 a.m. and sort of petered out. Let's see, what else is in my price range here? I'm going to try to sort through this. LRHC, we've already been looking at that one. And I was kind of hoping to get a bull flag pullback on that, but then it went too low for me. Oh yeah, what is the squeeze momentum indicator? I missed that. What is that? Maybe that's something like on the platform you're on? Squeeze momentum indicator. Okay. Wow, it's so interesting. Like there's so many different ways you can do this, huh? I love that, but also I can see why it's frustrating for a lot of people because, sometimes people just want, like, what's the answer? How do I do this? But there is obviously more than one way to successfully do this. Everyone here is contributing really interesting information. So I'm looking to see if there's anything here. SIDU. Let's see. Nope, that has a float of 80 million. I am going to stick to under 20. I mean, I have traded stocks that are like 30, 40 million float, but that's 80 million. That's like way too high. Let's see. Let's look at relative volume. Now I'm scouring for things on the scanner. So I'm going to see. I'm going to look at top relative volume. All right. And what do you know? WTO is top relative volume. So, SQBR is going to break $1 this morning. I'd be on board, but Webull is blocking the ticker. Yeah, that was happening to me in Schwab a lot. I had to call and request that they remove the restriction, and occasionally I still get a ticker blocked. But for a while, it was like every single thing I tried to trade was blocked, and then I had to sign some kind of release. I don't know if Webull will let you do the same thing. I mean, they can block whatever they want, but I just think it's silly. I mean, we're adults. Like, if we want to trade something, we should be able to trade it. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it's trying to make a recovery. Look at that. It's making a recovery back to VWAP. I think WTO, I think that could be a really good strategy, TJ. Look at that. I think it's trying to make a recovery back to VWAP. Oh, Webull blocks ELAB2? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I definitely was frustrated by that because it went from blocking the occasional stock on Thinkorswim to blocking like almost every good stock, small cap stock. I was like, okay, I get it. Some of them are Chinese stocks, but come on. We're adults. Like, if we want to take the risk, that's up to us. I mean, I just don't, I guess they want to keep people trading longer, right? Because that's really how they make money, but so they don't want people to blow up their account. But, yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, that would be really frustrating. I didn't even know at first that you could waive that. I found out about on Thinkorswim. I found out from one of Ross Cameron's videos that you could waive that, and I was just getting so frustrated. I'm like, how is anyone supposed to make money if every small cap momentum stock is blocked? So that's why I'm going to be honest. I think, I like Thinkorswim because it's a commission-free broker and I'm used to it. But I have been working on, setting up my Webull account so that I have other options. And I do think it's good to always have more than one option, um, for that reason, because each platform has strengths and weaknesses and pros and cons. And I don't want to get stuck in a situation where, and that's actually how I ended up opening the Webull account, because I was so annoyed about Thinkorswim blocking every stock. Oh, James, look, I think it's I think it's going to break VWAP. I think WTO is going to break VWAP. The squeeze momentum indicator is helpful for identifying potential breakouts. I run it in TradingView. So is TradingView a scanner platform, or is that because I use TraderView for my journaling and post trade analysis, but I use Day Trade Dash, which is Warrior Trading Scanners right now for my scanning and my 10-second chart. However, thanks to James, I checked out Chart Watcher, and I'm kind of playing with that, the free version, and seeing if I can get used to that because it is more affordable. But I'd have to pay for I want the 10-second chart, so I'd have to get a paid version to get the 10-second charts. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. So you definitely wanted to break VWAP. Well, I mean, it does have top relative volume right now, so I think it could. Let's see. I'm kind of curious about XXII. Oh, it's fading off of VWAP. That's too bad. I thought this had potential too. Let's see. What else? ESPR, that's the acquisition one. GRO, let's take a look at GRO. That's got a higher float and it has not get it's gapped down from the previous day close. So I might that's too many indicators. If too many of the indicators are not pointing in the same direction, then you know, that's just too much for me. Let's see. TWO over $10. I've reduced my price risk. So I'm only trading stocks under $10 right now. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Thanks, James. Yeah, I mean, hopefully this weekend I have a little bit of time. I have a whole day commitment on Sunday that is not related to trading. So, I'm gonna try to get some stuff, and I work on Saturday midday, so I am going to try to get some practice on Chart Watcher this weekend. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, everyone, like when you're starting out, there's just like so many options. And I love Warrior Trading's scanners, but I'm open to other options that are more affordable. And but I don't have access to his chat room. I only do the scanners and charts. So I don't have access to the chat room and I don't watch him trade live. I watch his recap every day, but I was worried. I don't want to mirror trade anyone. And I was like, ah, it's already an expense. Paying for the charts. And then, yeah. So I was like, wow, yeah, that would kind of bite into my my profit. And that's why I'm with a commission-free broker, right? I mean, that's what we're doing at the beginning. And then as we grow, we can explore more options. Like, what does Ross use? Lightspeed? Um, and I'm sure like for him that's perfect, right? But it would be insane for someone like me who's not even consistently profitable yet to be um, paying for something like Lightspeed. Although if you look at my February, you would think I was very profitable. My February was so good. So yeah, I'm definitely open to other options. And I use TraderView for my analyzing journals, like my journaling, analyzing trades, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Full disclosure, I'm an affiliate, but you don't have to pay for something to journal trades. That's one thing that I feel like you can do for free, honestly. I just really like the additional features that they have, and I really, really like how it's helped me analyze it. But you can honestly track your trades in a Google spreadsheet for free. Oh, I've never heard of. Okay, Zendu. I think someone did mention that in another trade. Okay, so I'll check that out. Yeah, I mean, trying to figure out what works. Thank you. Thanks, TJ. Yeah, I'm definitely open to because I want to improve, right? And I'm a new trader and you know, you start off with something and if it's working, great, but I'm sure there's a lot of great solutions out there. Like I've heard there's another one that people use for analyzing trades that I was thinking of. Let's see what. Trying to remember what it was. I can't remember the name of it. There was another one that someone mentioned to me that sounded really good as well. Oh, something's popping up. All right. LABT is between $1 and $10. The float is 4.46 million. It's gapped up, but the relative volume isn't there yet. So let's take a look at it, but I won't. That's one thing that the relative volume is the one that I'm really not going to give on. I want to see good relative volume for sure. Let's see. Wait, what happened with WTO? Did it break? Oh, man, I hope you were able to. Did you, I hope you were able to get out, TJ. Unless your stop is below that. I can't remember what you said you got in at. Okay, so the relative volume on LABT is flying up. So this is another potential for me. Okay. Again, and this has some news. Let's see. It says they announced positive antimicrobial resistance data for lead candidate targeting infected diabetic foot ulcers. That sounds bad. A foot ulcer. Okay. So, sorry. That was like that probably should have been an inside comment. All right. So, LABT. It meets 4 of the 5. It meets all 5 criteria for stock selection, okay? And except for the relative volume. So it meets 4. So I need the relative volume. Oh, that's awesome. Haas, that's awesome. FinViz. Okay, FinViz. Wow. You guys have a lot of you guys are like a wealth of information. FinViz. So I'm, after like a long career in finance related positions, I did a tax accounting for a while. I did finance. I was in procurement with the federal government. I did finance in the federal government. Most of my professional career was in finance and accounting related things. I love spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets. So yeah, there's no reason why you can't track it in, and you can customize it. I honestly don't know how to do pivot tables. I should have learned. I was gonna learn, and then I left my position at the government, and I was just gonna learn for fun. But advanced, if you are good with spreadsheets and Excel and Google spreadsheets, like you can just customize it to your heart's content, That's great. Okay, so this is a huge topping tail. Now we're below VWAP. And yeah, good news. That's really good news. Again, I'm always surprised that the biotech stuff doesn't do better. It's like, Yeah, in this day and age, honestly, like I like TraderView and I'm an affiliate and I love the program, but in this day and age with AI and spreadsheets, you can probably, come up with like an amazing journaling system. I use AI, I use ChatGPT, I use Claude for a lot of stuff, and it's so helpful. My kids are like, you use AI too much. Like, who's the young person here? And I'm always nice to the machines so that when Skynet takes over, maybe they won't destroy me first. That's a Terminator reference for those of you who are, I'm dating myself now, but all right, so we're below VWAP, and yeah. So the relative volume is now more than 5 times the 50-day average. So I feel like LABT, it has the news too, which is giving me that extra confidence, you know. The float is only 4.46 million. Am I reading that correctly? Yep. 4.46 million. On paper, I like this. But let's look at the daily chart and see if there are any windows or gaps. Okay, so is this like a brand new stock? Huh. Well, I don't know much about what that would mean for trading it, but I feel like it doesn't have much history to go on. And that doesn't seem good. I don't want to get caught up in thinking of it like a long-term investor, but oh, okay. So FinViz is great, but the free version has a 20-minute lag. Okay. Which, isn't going to help for small cap momentum, right? Because, I guess that would be fine if you're like a swing trader. You don't have to worry about a 20-minute lag isn't a big deal. But if you're day trading small cap momentum stocks like this, you need something that's like popping right away. So this is my third day on my travel trading station at home. I've decided to use the same station at home that I'm going to use traveling to kind of minimize like pulling my focus, and it's been fine. Like I like it. Okay. And oh, so the paid version. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, I've been over on day trading on Reddit, and it's like so helpful to hear other people's stories and what they're doing and how they're doing it. It is just crazy helpful. I mean, I'm kind of late to the Reddit party, but it's really helpful to hear what other people are doing over there. So I thought LABT would maybe give us something, but it has these two topping tails, and it's just kind of floating right around VWAP. Oh, it might be making a move. Let me just check WTO again. No, WTO is below VWAP. So let's see. This is maybe a potential for a bull flag pullback. And again, I've reduced everything, share size, account size, and I'm trading stocks under $10 to really reduce my risk. So I'm curious, what would you guys consider? Because in the past, I've been more intuitive about this and less data driven. But do you have like a cutoff for at what point would you consider yourself ready to increase share size? This is one of those things that I probably will use AI for too, and ask it like, at what point should I consider increasing my share size? And what data needs to be there in order for me to get, because before when I increased my share size, I think it was more about green days. It was more like how many green days. It was more about my accuracy. And of course that's important too, but that's sort of how I determined, I was having more and more green days strung together. I was having better and better accuracy. My accuracy has been horrible the last month. It's just so depressing. And that's how I decided to increase share size. But I'm curious what you guys do. How do you determine you're ready to move to the next level? All right. So it's really just kind of hovering around this level. I guess 425. It's tapping 425. The relative volume is going up. Look, it already has, let's see, I just want to make sure if it's hard to borrow or easy to borrow. Okay, it's hard to borrow on Thinkorswim. Is anything easy to borrow on Thinkorswim? I almost never see easy to borrow. So I might consider, I know this is the quarter dollar, but I might consider a breakout of the quarter dollar potentially. Or I guess you could call this a flat top breakout. But if you look at the top of the candle bodies, it's more like, let's see, where's 4? Oh no, 4 is down here. Volume is decreasing. So right here we have, and look, this is a bottom tail, right? So it looks like it's going to break out over this level potentially. I'm curious, if it breaks over 425, I might consider getting in for a break over that level. But the thing is, right, if you take this topping tail out of the equation, I would say this is more like the right level. Right here, 405. This is where 401. Okay, close enough. And where's 450? So it's kind of trending right along the $4 level. I mean, it's above VWAP, but I mean, this is kind of a pullback. Look, the volume's pulling back, but now it's below VWAP. Oh well. So WTO is still the relative volume winner, but it never really came back above VWAP. Sorry about that, TJ. I hope you got out. Which is too bad. That was I had hopes for that one too. RNTX. The stock dips after pricing 50 million share offering. Okay. SHPH. Let's see. SHPH. Didn't that come up yesterday? Withdrawing. This is below VWAP. Fridays can be funky. They can be like slow, or sometimes I've had like really busy Fridays. I don't know. We'll have to see. LABT making a move, maybe? Maybe. Maybe not. it's just kind of consolidating sideways. Along this level. This is $4. Well, 401, but close enough, right? Okay, so it's just kind of it's just kind of popping up and above and below VWAP. All right, let's go through the list. Let's see what we can keep and what we can toss. XXII. I really thought that was going to pop back up. It could, but if it does, it'll pop up on my running up scanner. So ST, again, below VWAP. WTO. I'm going to keep that on my chart only because it's like the top relative volume stock. And I don't know, I have hope. LHRC, I'm going to take that off. SHPH. Oh, look at that. It tried to break VWAP. And, oh, this looks really choppy. Okay, I'm going to take that off. How funny. XXII just popped up on my running up scanner again. So what's going on with that? Oh, look, it's trying to make a run for it. Come on, little guy, you got this. SOBR, yeah, SOBR. Yep. Although that's below $1. So, and again, I don't want to be too rigid about it right now, but I don't do well with stocks under $1 generally. But you know what? Any port in a storm. That's what my mother used to say. Any port in a storm. I think right now I'm going through a little bit of a storm in my trading. So, but that's how it is when you're learning something difficult, right? Wow, look at that. That looks pretty good though. It has nice clean pullbacks, right? And I like this, the nice clean pullbacks, tapping the 9 EMA, tapping the 9 EMA, tapping the 9 EMA. I like that. That looks good to me. I would just be like, scalp, scalp, scalp. I'm happy with that at this point because yeah, this does look good. And it's above VWAP. Now I'm really going to sound like a mother. LABT, why can't you be more like SOBR? All right. Well, there might not be a lot to trade today, but at least I haven't lost $800. That's how I feel about it, honestly. So that's where I'm at today. Welcome to my mental whirlwind. I mean, you know what was really good for me yesterday, though, is to, you know, reviewing everything made me feel better about it. I mean, you can watch my recap from yesterday, but the big thing that I'm going to take away from my last 2 days of horrible red trading is that one thing that is a huge improvement is that 6 months ago, I would be red and I didn't know why. I do know why I was red the last 2 days. I know what mistakes I made. They are fixable. And that is good news. Oh, hi. I did. I only took one trade so far. All right. So I took one trade on WTO. Right here. This pullback right here, this bull flag pullback. And I freaked out. And instead of paying attention to my exit indicators like I'm supposed to be, because that's my goal for the week, I freaked out. I saw that it was green and I got out and I made $3. So I had to reduce my share size because I had 2 really bad red days. So I've reduced my account size, I've reduced my share size, and I've tightened up my price range that I'll trade. Instead of trading between $1 and $20, I'm only trading between $1 and $10. So I'm reducing my risk, reducing my exposure to the market. So yes, this was 3 cents a share that I got. So that was more of a scalp. If I had paid attention to the exit indicators, I probably could have got 10 to 20 cents a share on this. I did. That was an emotional reaction. I was like, I'm green, I'm green. And I'm going to be putting that in my journal because this week my goal on Substack is improving my exit indicators. So I know. I hope James did okay. I hope it went okay. I hope you were able to either break even or get out. Yeah, I just had 2 big red days and I'm not willing to lose any more money. And I have had to do that before. I've had to reduce my share size. At one point, I went down to 10 shares for a week. And then I went back up to 100 and then I worked my way back up. So, but this time, this is the right call. This is the right call. And that's okay. And honestly, that $3 trade felt better than it's the best I've felt in like 3 days. So I'm happy with it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just broke even on LABT. Yeah, I really thought that it was going to go somewhere, but like I thought these were really choppy. I wanted to like it, but it was a little too choppy. And it had good news. And this is why I'm really kicking myself in the ovaries for yesterday because I didn't trade HCAI because I just kept saying, it doesn't have news, it doesn't have news. And it was obviously the best stock. And then I traded other stocks that weren't as good. So today I want news, yes, but it's not going to keep me from trading the best stock to trade. I'm going to be less rigid and use more critical thinking skills. I mean, I'm not a genius, but I'm definitely not a dummy. So I should be able to, this is learnable. People are doing it. If other people are doing it, we can do it. It's learnable. I think the biggest obstacle is honestly what's going on in sometimes my emotions are running the show instead of my logic. And I want to use intuition that I've developed through experience rather than just emotional reactions, right? I mean, wouldn't it be great if I could do that in every area of my life? That would be absolutely fantastic. If I could just use logic and intuition. A self-help book that I read once, and I wish I could remember what book it was because then I would give this book credit because this concept it might have been Crucial Conversations, but this concept has helped me so much. This self-help book said that wisdom is logic plus intuition. And that has resonated with me so much. So the logic piece, that's learning technical analysis, that's understanding how your platform works, that's understanding the tools and the technique, right? Which is something that is absolutely learnable. But the intuition piece, I believe we develop through experience. And that's something that we can only get from doing it, right? It's the only way. And so, when I'm practicing something new, like I had a whole hotkey problem. That's why I lost a lot of money on Thursday. Well, I went on the simulator and I practiced. I fixed my hotkeys, made them further apart so I wouldn't confuse buy and sell. And then I practiced them in the simulator straight for a half hour. Just practice, 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 practice. So LABT was respecting VWAP, and then I named it until I came along. Yeah, I know. Isn't that how it works? Until you came along to try to dip. It's like everything's going fine until sometimes I feel like the market knows, because have you ever tried to put like an order on, like a limit order on the ask, or and then an order pops up right above yours? I think those are the algorithms. They, when they see another trade, then they pop in above your, it's like so annoying. But yeah, sometimes I feel like the market knows, and I know that's irrational thinking, but um yeah. But I think that paper trading is invaluable for practice when you're trying a new thing, when you're trying a new setup, you're trying a new indicator. When I run out of settled funds, I switch to paper trading. So I keep trading, I just switch to paper trading when I run out of settled funds. However, I don't think that's going to happen at 100 shares with $1 to $10. I would have to be like a really hot day, because even though I reduced my account size, I reduced my share size down to 20% of what I was trading, right? From 500 to 100. But my account didn't go down as much. It went down by like 60%. So instead of 80%. So I don't think I'm going to run out of settled funds at this share size. And hopefully by the end of this month, I will be. Oh, LABT broke VWAP. Guys. Okay. All right. Ooh, okay. This is good. I'm looking for I would love to see a candle finish above VWAP for confirmation. I would love to see the MACD green. That would be awesome. But MACD, again, is a lagging indicator, so I was really rigid about that, but I think I'm going to pay attention to it. Like if the MACD was here, right? Like here, but it's like it's getting to the point where it's going to flip. So I think that's okay. Okay, so we had one candle finish above VWAP. I'm going to look for a bull flag pullback. I am. Relative volume is 16 times the 50-day average. James, this might be your chance to redeem yourself. I don't know. But let's see. So high of day is 469. But this level is the last big move, and it kind of tapped that level again, right? So that 420, 25, 4 something. So this, let me take this off. This could be the top of the bull flag pullback move. This could be the pull, although it's only 2 candles. It's not a super strong pull. I like to see more. And if the price drops below VWAP, I'm not necessarily going to trust it. Yeah, that is, James, that is exactly what I'm realizing, is that the indicators, they're not all equal, right? So MACD is important, but yeah, the price action is 100% the most important thing. And I was being too rigid about everything. And this is where that experience that we get translates to intuition and translates to the ability to be more discerning and use critical thinking skills. So this is more of a if this pops up, it's more of a micro pullback. Oh, but I missed it. I missed it. I wasn't ready for it because I didn't have my 10-second chart up to trade the micro pullback. So let me put my 10-second chart up. And I didn't want to jump in blindly. So now I've got my 10-second chart. It's pulling back on the 10-second chart. So it popped up. But it just isn't holding up. Looks very choppy to me. And look at the volume bars. It's like up, down, up, down. I like a more clean look where the price action mirrors the volume bars. That's more what I prefer. I know I'm trading with much smaller size, which is giving me a lot of peace of mind in terms of risk management and exposure, but I'm still taking the trades as seriously as if I'm trading with 500 shares. So, and when I paper trade, I do the same thing, unless I'm practicing something where I'm just practicing. But, on your scanner. Okay, so this might be, so here we have the top, it's pulling back. Here's the top of the low candle. This is a potential bull flag pullback. It might pull back all the way to the 9 EMA, which is what I like to see. I like to see it tap the 9 EMA and then pop back up. Okay, so now we have a new candle forming. So if this pops up, I might get in, but I want to see confirmation with the volume bar. See, I've got a little topping tail, but okay. Again, another like scalp trade. However, I did feel like the price was hesitating. It's probably going to keep going up, but I did feel like the price was hesitating. So that was my exit indicator. That's what made me nervous about it. It is going up. I just didn't give it a chance to work. All right, so my second one is LABT, bull flag pullback, and my exit indicator was price hesitation. Another green trade. I am so excited, you guys. So Il Siley, why do you think it's high risk territory? Please, I would love to hear why you think that. Please share, because that's could be very helpful information, right? So let's see. All right, so I've got my second green trade. My first one was, I didn't use an exit indicator, to be honest. I saw green, I got out. This one, you'd rather wait till market open and plot for potential pop. Okay. Yep. I do like trading pre-market. I usually trade from 7 to 10. If it's hot, I'll trade longer than that, but I do most of my trading pre-market. Although yesterday I traded right at the market open, and that might have been a mistake the first 5 minutes. So you trade at the market open, but do you trade, like, when do you start trading? Not right at, do you start trading it right at 9:30, or do you start trading like at 9:35, 9:45? Oh, because it's high of day right now. Right. Okay. You mean because LABT is high of day? So it did pop up here, 469. Right. The closer it gets to its high, yeah. I mean, that is a point of resistance potentially. Is that what you're saying? Because I agree with that for sure, right? Like, the closer it gets to this point, then it's possible that this will act as a point of resistance. Yep. Yep. I agree with that. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think it's getting closer. I wanted to wait until it was above VWAP, and I did, and I got a little trade there. I know it's a little scalping trade, but yes, I agree. The closer it gets to this point, the more likely it is to reverse. That's a great point. Although I like the fact that it's coming back to tap the 90 EMA, but this looks choppy to me right here. This whole thing looks choppy, and the volume bars look less, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, when I first started trading, I only traded 9:30 to 10:30 / 11 o'clock. I didn't trade pre-market at first. I only traded the market open the first hour to hour and a half. I started trading pre-market, and now I really like the pre-market. The market open feels like chaos. I just feel like it's two completely different things. And I got a lot of lucky trades at market open last year. And it gave me, I think, a false sense of security in the market open. But I feel like that's an area where I'm weak right now, where I need to really develop a better strategy for the market open. So guys, I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I like to take my breaks between the half hour and the top of the hour because I don't want to be away from my trading station when news could come out. But I'll be back in about 5 minutes. So I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you guys in like 5 minutes. I'm back. All right. All right. Let's get those glasses on. Can't. All right. So, did I miss anything? Let's see what's going on. All right. So, LABT is creeping up towards that level that we talked about, right? High of day. And it's pulling back again. Let's see what else is popping up on the good old scanners. Looking to see if there's anything else that looks good. WTO is still below VWAP, but it's green on the MACD. I mean, it's trying to make a recovery. XXII still way below. Let's look at SOBR. SOBR is just kind of, looks like VWAP is support, right? At this level, it's like tapping it, kind of coming up. JTAI announces SEC effectiveness of fly exclusive registration statement. Okay, let's see, let's take a look. JTAI. Oh, but the relative volume is like really low. The relative volume is really low. Look at how slowly it's moving on the level 2. It's like sad. Yeah, so that would be out of the running. See, this is why the volume is so important, because look at how slowly it's moving. It's moving like molasses. LABT is still climbing higher, but it's grinding up. And like you said, Il Siley, it's getting close to high of day. So that's a great observation, that that's a potential point of resistance, and it may reverse. So, oh, WTO might be, it's really trying to make a comeback, huh? So let's see, for those of you who are just joining us, happy May, new day, new week, new month, well, new month, not new week, but it's a new day, a new month. And April was a mess for me. I've had 2 massive red days in a row, so I have reduced my share size like I'm supposed to. And I also reduced my account size, which I was going to do anyway because of the pattern day trader rule. And I've also changed my price target. So I'm only trading stocks under $10 now. Yep. So that's just to kind of catch you up. And I've had 2 trades so far. I'm actually going to put my trades into TraderView. I'm going to import them. So we can take a look, since it's really slow right now. Let's take a look at what I've done today so far. I'm super excited to have 2 green trades, and I know that one of them I didn't pay attention to my exit indicators. The second one I did. And so, you know, it's really important to improve the process, right? So I'm importing my trades. All right, so let's bring this over here. Whoops. There we go. All right, let's put today. Okay, so today so far we have two tiny, it looks so tiny because I reduced my share size, right? So I just have to remember, like I practiced in the simulator yesterday afternoon to get used to the numbers being different. So what I usually do is I go into my thing. I'll have to put in the initial risk later because I'll have to go back and look at exactly where my stop was, but I'll put that in later. And I'll tag bull flag pullback. Okay. I didn't, what did I do for my exit indicator? This one, I didn't have exit indicator. Whoops. None used. Okay, that's my D key is stuck. Okay. All right. But I'll put in my risk. Let's see. So when I go to WTO and I go to the trade, what I want to do, what I want to look at in terms of what my risk was, which I did establish before I took the trade. I had price lines here, right? This was my target, this was my entry, and this was my stop. So here you can see that the difference is 13 cents. Okay. So 13 cents times, is that right? 13 cents times 100 shares is $13. Okay, so if you go to Trader View, I'm going to put in I was risking $13, which I had established. That was my risk. So now you can see that it's not calculating everything. Why not? Let's see. So the R value here. Why isn't it showing it here? Oh, right here. So my net return, this is the R value. It means that my $3 return was 0.2285 times my initial risk. Ideally, I would want the R number to be 1 or greater, which means that my gain was 1 to 2 times my risk. That's what I'm trying to target. Ideally, it would be like 1.5 to 2 times my risk. Okay. Now, when I look at my trade, okay, the actual trade, the difference between here and here and here and here, I'm looking for it to be, I'm looking for the target price, the distance between the entry and the target price to be more than the distance between the entry and the stop price. That's what I'm looking for ideally. Okay, so, whoops. And if that had been the case, let's just say that I had let it run. I didn't use my exit indicators like I was supposed to. If I had let it run, then this number would have been 1, hopefully. Okay, so LABT. Okay, this was also a bull flag pullback. My exit indicator was price hesitation. I'm keeping track of all my exit indicators because that is something that I really needed to work on. So that was my goal this week. So when I go back and do my Substack recap later today, it's going to be focusing specifically on that. My daily recap will just be like whatever happened today. Okay, so let's look at what my risk was for LABT on my trade on LABT. So even though I reduce my share size, where's my trade? Even though I reduce my share size, the principles are the same, right? I'm not doing anything different than what I was doing. Well, I'm obviously doing something different than I was doing yesterday because I'm not panicking, but my process is the same regardless of share size. Okay, so here, this was my target, this was my stop, I mean my entry, and this was my stop. Oops, where? So here I had a 15-cent risk, 15 cents per share risk. At 100 shares, whoops, at 100 shares, that is $15. So I was risking $15 here, and you can see that my return was only 0.178 times my risk, okay? So ideally, I would want this to be over 1. That would be ideal. However, I think that, and they were both bull flag pullbacks, which is my main setup that I'm working on. Let's see. So that's how I'm kind of keeping track of everything. One thing I know, I see that popping up. That is way out of my price range. That's way out of, CUE is way out of my price range. Even before I put myself on a restriction, even before I put myself on a restriction, that was more than I was willing to look at. But so do you trade stock? Like, do you have a price limit on how high you'll go in terms of price per share? Like, I've reduced mine from $20 to $10 until I am consistent again at 100 shares. But yeah, that's definitely running up. Although, look at the volume bars. As it's kind of pulling back here a little bit or leveling off, the volume started to go down. So this looks like more like a flat top breakout to me. If I were going to trade this, I would treat this like a flat top breakout, really. And if it broke above this level and I saw the volume bar shooting up, if it was a lower price point, I would be interested in that if it met my criteria for stock selection, which it does. The float is really low. The relative volume's good. The gap's good. There's news from yesterday that's good. I mean, the only thing here that scares the bejesus, and look at that, it broke out. The only thing about this that scares me is the price. I would have to do like 10 shares or something if I were going to trade something like this. But at 100 shares, I'm not going to take that risk. Not after what happened to me yesterday. I'm down like 800 yesterday. That was just too much. So I'm just not willing to risk if it jackknifes. But look at that. Nice. Something like this, like I said, if I would 10 shares. That would be the most I would do on that in my current situation. My current state of affairs. Well, it's 9 a.m. I was kind of hoping we'd have some news pop up. I was really hoping. I'm looking at top relative volume scanner. I'm looking at top gainers, which CUE is at the top of that. And it had a breakout over that level. That's what I would have been looking for sure. But yeah, it's a little bit pricey for me. Yeah, it looks good. Look at that. It broke out over that level. 31, 33, $2 a share. Yep, $2 a share. That looks good. Did you get in on it? I'm curious. Did you get in on it? I want to hear how you did, because that would have been a nice breakout. So if that was in my price point, I would have taken that, because when the price stays pretty level, but the volume bars drop, I really like that. And I like to take that breakout. I see that a lot, and I like trading those. So that would have been right up my alley. See, I haven't lost my love for trading. Look at how I'm smiling. I haven't lost my love of trading. 2 bad days aren't going to keep me down. I love this game. All right. So, let's see. CERS. Float's way too high for this strategy. Yep. So something else I'm kind of, no, it's too expensive, managing risk here. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But if that was at a lower price point, that would have been a great flat top breakout. I like those a lot. So I'm curious, like, of course, I'm working on small cap momentum day trading, and that's what I'm doing. But eventually, I would like to break out into other strategies. And I'm curious if some of you do trade other strategies. And if so, what's your experience trading multiple strategies? Like, does anybody do futures, options? I'm kind of interested in that eventually. I'm interested in maybe doing a little bit of swing trading, but swing trading makes me nervous because I don't like to have that exposure for so long. Still waiting for this sediment to settle and looking towards the market open. Got it. Okay. Well, we're almost there. We're almost there. And hopefully something will pop up at 9:30. Oh, my light kind of, my light kind of died there. There we go. So yeah, I'm curious if anyone trades other strategies other than, I'm assuming if you're here in my live stream that you either do trade small cap momentum or you are interested in small cap momentum. Because that seems to be the two groups of people that this would attract. But I'm just curious if anybody does any other strategies. Yeah, it's kind of, Fridays can be slow. Fridays can be really slow. Let's look at our list here. Okay, so CUE, too expensive for me, but it is doing a nice pullback, full bull flag pullback. Tapping the 9 EMA maybe. Nice. Yeah, look at that. I don't know if it might be hard for you to see. Oh, and it had a nice breakout. Oh, but let's see. Yeah. It honestly looks good, very good to me, except for the price. Swing trade, blue chip stocks. I'm learning options. Cool. Yeah, definitely I'm interested in both of those things. I did long-term investing for a long time, and yeah, I'm definitely interested in other stuff, Interested in gold futures. Really interested in that. And Forex. Does anybody do Forex? I was always interested when I first got my master's degree back in 2002, and I took this class on investing, which is what lit the fire for me. I was like, wow, I want to be an investor. Um, at the time, online investing wasn't really a thing, or it was just kind of in the very beginning stages. I think after that, E-Trade came out and some other companies but the commissions were really high, and I tried it, but the information wasn't out there like it is now. The internet's so developed. But I thought, oh, if only, I was like, if I were younger, I would um, move to Chicago and trade commodities and Forex. um, and now it's all online. It's crazy. So I'm interested in, but I don't want to get too distracted. I want to make sure that I get consistent at one thing at a time. Divide by 10 rule. Ooh, that's a good idea, which in this case, since I'm doing 100 shares right now, I would do 10 shares. That is a good strategy. And that is kind of what I said. I said, oh, I would do 10 shares. So Inez, hey, I am green. Woo-hoo. However, reduced share size, reduced reduced account size, reduced share size, and I have tightened up my price selection criteria. So I'm only trading stocks under $10 with 100 shares. Although I like that divide by 10 rule. That is really cool. All right, but I am green. I am up. Let's see. I am up $5.70. I'm not going to spend it all in one place, though. I just want you to know. I'm going to really manage that $5.70. Yeah, it's hard to adjust when you have to downsize because you're like, the numbers are smaller. But the losses are smaller, and that's why I'm doing it. So I've had two green trades. One trade I did not I didn't use an exit indicator. I just freaked out and clicked sell when I saw I was green. That's this one on WTO. My second trade, I did get out on an exit indicator, which was price hesitation. Yeah, that's what I have to do. You're right. Because normally I would trade 500 shares, right? That's my full size. So if I just multiply these numbers by 5, that'll give me an idea of how I'm doing relative to how I was doing. I know, green is green. That's the thing. Like at one point I had to size down to 10 shares because I just was having a terrible streak. Like I sized back down from at one point last year I was trading 1,000 shares and I was doing well. And then I hit a rough patch, downsized to 500. Things were going great. Hit another rough patch, downsized to 100. Hit another rough patch, went to 10 shares. And then I worked my way back up to 500. So I'm really happy with this. I had two good trades. The only thing I would say that I could fault me for is that I didn't use an exit indicator on this first one. I just clicked when I got green, but I'm okay with that because I needed to not be red. I just needed to not be red and I think I didn't think of it in the moment that way, but I think I just really needed a win. So yeah, that's where I'm at for my profit and loss today. I'm up $5.70, but like you said, green is green. I'm looking at it like I had two good trades. And there were two good trades. And I feel so much relief, honestly, having reduced my share size. It's just, I just really didn't want to lose any more money, didn't want to burn through any more of my account. So I actually reduced my account size, which I was going to do anyway because of the pattern day trader rule. I was planning on reducing my share size once that was implemented. I'm sorry, my account size to kind of fit whatever my share size was. However, yeah, I feel a lot of relief having put these restrictions in place, these limitations. I don't see limitations as a bad thing, because if I can't get consistent again at 100 shares, then I have no business trading 500 shares, you know? So that's the reality. And, I have to remember, like, so I'm a mom, my kids are adults, but I think about, if it were my child going through what I'm going through, what advice would I give them? And I try to be my own mom. My parents have long since passed, but I try to be my own mom and say, what advice would I give my child if they were in this situation? I would say, hey, listen, you're playing the long game, right? You want to be a consistently profitable trader in the long term. So reduce your share size, take apart your game, and just kind of start over and look at the fundamentals and just get consistently profitable at a lower share size. Reduce your risk, reduce your stress, and rebuild from there. And that's what I would tell one of my own adult children to do. So I should do that as well. And I do feel relief, honestly, coming into today, that I'm not exposed to another huge red day. So on the 2 trades that I took today, one trade, my risk was, let's see, on this trade I risked $13. And so my R number, my P&L R is low, right? But that's okay. If I scalp trades for the next week, I'm okay with that, honestly. And I risked $15 with this trade. So my risk is low, my exposure to the market is low. Even if I ended up in another falling knife today, hopefully I wouldn't lose more than, like 50, 60 bucks. So that's kind of, it's giving me some peace of mind. It's the right thing to do, Sometimes we have to be our own moms and dads, even though we're all adults. So CREG is popping up. Let's see what's going on with WTO. WTO is still trying to make a comeback. But CREG, let's see what this is. CREG. Whoops. It's below $1, which I generally do not trade. The float is over 20 million. The relative volume is very low, and it's actually below where it closed yesterday. That's what it looks like on here. Yeah. So this is a no-go for me. Like I said earlier, I really, really learned my lesson yesterday about being too rigid about my stock selection criteria and my indicators. But yeah, you can trade 100 shares multiple times if the chart supports it. Yeah, exactly. Right? Whereas if I trade 500 shares and it goes badly, I'm too close to my max daily loss. And then I just, it's just too stressful. Red on the day. Yeah. So it popped up on my scanner though. I don't know why. I guess it was moving because of this move here. Popped up. Yeah. But looking at CREG, and when I see something pop up on the running up scanner on Warrior Trading Scanners, I look at it and kind of evaluate it. And in this case, I know I said, I'm going to be less rigid on my criteria and just use more critical thinking skills. But this one has like way too many things wrong with it, right? And this is obviously not a stock to trade. Let's see, SOBR. SOBR it's, well, again, it's under $1, and I generally don't trade stocks under $1. but it is making a move. Let's see, CUE is also making another move. Yeah, I like your divide by 10 rule. I'm gonna make a note about that. And I like the idea of size anchoring. I mean, I definitely have been doing that, but I like how you've kind of given it a name. I don't know, maybe you didn't, maybe it wasn't you, but whatever name you're using, I like. CU is really attracting buyers. Wonder if it'll attract shorter soon. Yeah, maybe. Well, let's see what happens when the market opens. We've got 12 minutes. Now, I learned my lesson yesterday. I will not be trading in the first 5 minutes of the market open. Won't catch me doing that again. Not today. I feel like for me, the market open, the hour after the market opens is still a bit of a mystery to me. I had a lot of beginner's luck last year. I got a lot of gap and go trades at the market open. And, I was making $100, $150, $300. I was making, money at the market open thinking I understood what was happening. Now with more experience, I feel like I still don't quite have a handle on it. So that's an area that I'm going to really work on. Yeah, look at CUE, huh? Grinding up. Did I look at the daily chart on this one? Huh, that's choppy. That's the daily chart. This looks really choppy. Something clearly happened here. When was that? April? There's a lot going on in April, apparently. Wow, that's super choppy. Yikes, look at this chopping tail. So it's above this high. This is blue sky, right? Blue sky. Wow. It's up above its more regular market hours high. We only have 10 minutes till the market open. I mean, I'm going to not trade the first 5 minutes. Like I said, I'm going to let all the overnight orders and everything kind of settle out. And then I'll look for something more conservative, like a bull flag pullback. So I wonder if these are the shorts. No, it just could be another pullback, bull flag pullback, but here the volume bars are looking choppy, right? Instead of just kind of going up nicely, it's like a little choppy here. Yeah, wow, look at this, huh? For people that were getting in down here, huh? Wow, look at that, $10 a share. More than $10 a share. If I were not kind of in my self-imposed limitations today, I might consider this at a much reduced share size, like 10 shares. But I love the idea of like divide by 10. Let's see. The risk is so great though with the higher price stocks. Although this profit loss ratio is good. It's just that if it goes badly, you're down so much. That's what happened to me yesterday. I mean, my $800 loss was like, the stock was almost $20 a share at the time. So you entered at 32.72, exited at 34.66. Wow, just below my entry plus 1 hour price target on a 10 share position. Made my first ever pre-market. Wow. Congratulations. That's awesome. That is awesome. Wow. That's fantastic. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That is awesome. So you got in, let's see, right when this started to break out, right? 30, 32.74. So somewhere around here. And then that's amazing. Congratulations. That's awesome. This is so helpful to hear what other people are doing. I love it when you guys share your trades on whatever we're watching, because so you got $2 a share, almost $2 a share in here somewhere probably. That's amazing. Yay. I wish I should have to do keyboard sound effects like the crowd roaring. That's great. Oh, I love to hear these success stories because, like we're not competing. We are working together on this. And like, what's that expression? A rising tide lifts all boats. So hearing that success story means that like it's possible, right? We can do it. I love it. And, when you guys share your losses, it's helpful too because there's a lesson in every loss, right? And that's why I'm sharing what I'm doing publicly. I'm learning in public, but I'm sharing it so that you can learn from my wins and my losses too. Yeah, we're close to the open. Yeah, like I said, I feel like it's weird. I feel like the longer I trade, the more I'm confused by the market open. Is that normal? So I'm open to feedback, you know. Let's see, SOBR. Wow, SOBR is still climbing. Was that you, James, that was talking about getting into SOBR? It's climbing. Let's check LABT. LABT is kind of just consolidating sideways. WTO. WTO is kind of blah, but LABT is above VWAP. It's just sort of running sideways though. Like, okay, so I don't usually draw trend lines, but if I put one here, that's pretty clear, right? And then here. So I don't know if I'm doing this correctly, but what I used to do when I was using trend lines a lot is I would look for it to pop above or below these trend lines. And I would look, if it popped above, I would see that as a sign that it was breaking through this consolidation trend. Again, like I said, I don't really use trend lines so much anymore. I just kind of eyeball it, but I prefer using a horizontal price. Why is this not horizontal price level? Let's see. Well, we've got 3 minutes, and I'm sure some things will pop up, but we'll see. I don't know. It is Friday. The other thing about reducing my share size is I feel a lot less anxiety about being like, about potentially going red. Like, I'm excited to be green, don't get me wrong, but I feel like if I do go red, it's just going to be a lot less risk. And yeah. Oh, you're still okay, so you're still holding. All right. So I don't, yeah, I know. I have a couple of bags that I'm holding from a while ago. I don't do that anymore, but sometimes I've been really lucky and just, it swings back up. I think WTO has potential to break up above VWAP because the relative volume is so high. BAFN. But keep us posted, TJ. I'm rooting for you. I hope it breaks above VWAP. BAFN popped up. Let's see. It's at $6.60. The float's 3 million. The relative volume. Oh, but the gap. It gapped down 20%. Oh, okay. That's bad. Yeah. So I won't trade that. Yeah, like wonder what what's the news? Registration statement. Yeah. Let's see. AIOS, that is above $10. Not enough volume. Total volume is under 500,000. So I'm going to take that off my list. Yeah. AKAN, huh? That made a run. That was crazy yesterday. Was that yesterday? AKAN. I am praying WT. I hope it does too. I mean, if it does, I'm getting back in it. If it does, I'm definitely getting back in. You're in at 250, right? Oh, here we go. All right, guys. Let's see what happens. Good luck. I'm not going to trade the first 5 minutes. Yep. That's what happened to me on a trade yesterday, Haas. All right. Oh, SOBR is at $1. Who's watching that, James? But again, first few minutes, I'm staying out of it from now on. I used to trade a lot of gap and go right at the open, and been burned now. So let's see, LABT. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of settle, wait to see what happens with everything, and then look for maybe a nice bull flag pullback on something. Oh, GRO is coming back up. GRO, let's see. I'm just going to kind of see what's popping up. GRO, the float's a little high. But it looks like they have new news. Brazil Potash announces pricing of $55 million public offering of common shares and pre-funded warrants. So that could be good. I don't know. Hard to borrow. Potash properties. What's a potash property? I'm just like really curious what that is. What is a potash property? It's a mining site or geological deposit containing potassium-rich salt, primarily potassium chloride, used mainly as fertilizer. These properties are formed from evaporated ancient seabeds and are often mined via underground shafts. They are crucial for our agricultural potassium supply, with major deposits located in Canada, Russia, and Belarus. Interesting. No idea that existed. See, I'm learning. All right, what else is popping up? XXII popped back up again. Oh, but it's still below VWAP. Okay. LABT. So SOBR looks like it's forming a pullback. LABT. WTO is not making a break for VWAP. I was really hoping it would, but XXII, same thing. GRO. Wait, what fell out? Oh, WTO. WTO, yeah, I was really hoping it would. Well, we're still kind of shaking out. For a volume profile, so this right here, do you mean the volume bars, or do you mean like relative volume? So this is a 1 minute chart, and I have the volume bars are each one's for 1 minute. I look at total volume, which is just the aggregated volume for that day. And I also look at relative volume. I use Warrior Trading scanners, and it calculates how many multiples of the 50-day average it is. And I believe that that's calculated compared to on the daily chart, like the previous daily charts. So the 50-day average would be the previous 50 days. I hope that answers your question. If that's not answering your question, let me know. TJ, that is good to hear, right? For small caps. If the S&P is at an all-time high, that's good for us. So that's good to hear. I gotta say, you guys are like on fire in the chat today. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Got a lot of things popping up, but a lot of them are out of my price range. Let's see, GRO. Okay, so GRO, the float's a little high. Let me see. It's 33 million. Oh, and I already established that this, I didn't like the fact that it was gapping down. So I'm going to take that off my list. Okay. What is BOOM? BOOM. I'm going to take a look at BOOM. BOOM. Let's see. It is the float, so it's under $10. The float is only 17 million. The relative volume is 20 times the 50-day average, and it's gapped up more than 21%. But the total volume isn't 500,000 yet. So I'm going to wait and see what happens with that. Look at how choppy that is. That's not enough total volume for me. MRAM, I don't even want to look at it. That's what I lost $800 on yesterday. I'm like, what do you call it? PTSD from MRAM. Let's see. So we can't watch everything, right? We got to pick and choose. All right, Q, nope. SOBR, this looks like a real pullback. I like this. This is clean. It's pulling back to the 9 EMA. So it had a first pullback. this looks pretty clean. If it doesn't go below the 9 EMA, I could be convinced I like this profit loss ratio. It meets my other criteria for stock selection. But this was supposed to be the low candle and it's popping up above this candle. So now I don't like the profit loss ratio here. See? So originally I was thinking it would be this little candle, but this little candle, whoops. Why is my... So now this is the low candle and this profit loss ratio doesn't work for me anymore. So I'm not going to get in on that. But it looks like this is a level of support. Things are just popping up everywhere. Okay, so Q, I'm going to take off the list because it's too high priced for me anyway. WTO, ooh, WTO is creeping back up. TJ. VP shows how much volume occurred at each price level over a given period. VAH and VAL and POC are the signs. Oh, I have not used those before. Okay, I will check it out. I have not used those before. And I'm all about volume right now, so that sounds great. Thanks, Haas. Okay. Interesting. All right, I'll have to check that out. You guys are like a wealth of information. Now, why is this keep... So WTO, it looks like it might be creeping back towards your price point, TJ. ISPC. So wait a minute. I'm going to look at the top gainer scanner to kind of filter out some of the noise in the top volume scanner. TLIH. Let's see. Nope. LABT below VWAB. WTO. WTO is trying to make a comeback, so hopefully, fingers crossed. Maybe at the least you can get out at break even, right? Good morning. Good morning, Aligos. TJ, you're hilarious. You're holding until the cows come home. That's it. You're in 100%. As the kids say, you're locked in, right? My kids get so mad when I say that. Lock in, guys, lock in. You're locked in. All right. So LABT. Oh wait, so TLIH. I was looking at this, but too choppy. It's crazy how like a year ago or over a year ago when I started trading in paper money, this honest to God looked like foreign language to me. And now I look at the charts and I didn't understand when I'd watch things online and someone say, that looks choppy. I didn't know what they meant by that. Now I look at something like, ugh, it's choppy. Like I'm so much, like I know what I'm doing. FATN is your next play. Is that popping up right now? I know that was popping up this week. I don't see it on my charts. FATN is your next play. Okay. Yeah, so I see I have some horizontal lines here because, okay, that looks, oh, look at that. It is pulling back, but the volume is just over 500,000. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not rushing to take anything. I'm super excited to have two green trades. They're small, but they're good trades. I want to make sure that if I do take another trade, that it is a good trade, that it feels right. I don't want to jump into something just for the sake of jumping into it randomly. So I'm just kind of going through the stuff that's on the watch list. SOBR, I feel like has potential. But here, if I had taken this trade, it would have just rejected back. SOBR is on the top. Am I reading this right? It's the top stock on the top gainers scanner on Warrior Trading. Look at that. James, you were a man ahead of your time. You knew in the pre-market. But now, right here, this level, I was thinking the top of this candle became support, right? TJ, do you think it has enough volume? FATN? I mean, it definitely is. Look at, let's see. Look at the daily chart. Yeah, so there's I guess I've traded it before. There's a window here. There's a window here. So it has the potential to go up to 4, clearly. Clearly has that potential. Huh. Okay, so let's look at the scanners. See if there's anything that strikes me as interesting to trade. SOBR is still too volatile. Yeah, it feels choppy. I'm like sad because I kind of thought I might take a little chance and do a penny stock. Oh, hair issues. Yeah, staying sober. I know, right? I think that's what it is. It's like, yeah, non-invasive technologies to monitor and identify the presence of alcohol in North America. I was not a big drinker at all, but I haven't had a drink since January. And I've vacationed and everything. And honestly, because I did it to lose weight and I wasn't even drinking that much, but I don't know, I really feel good. I haven't given up drinking for good, but like, I don't know, kind of like feeling it. Feels good. Gave up caffeine too. I gave up caffeine for good though. I'm not giving up alcohol for good, but I gave up caffeine for good. This is rooibos, which is decaffeinated. So Yeah. I'm hoping for it to break out too. I really thought here, yep, look at that. It's like a flat top. It keeps tapping this level of resistance. I was hoping that it would break VWAP, or at the very least break this level. I really thought it was going to go back up over VWAP, and then I was going to take another trade on it. But I don't know. I feel like SOBR is the darling. Look at this. This is a nice leg. So I might look for a bull flag pullback on SOBR. And it is the top stock on the top gainer scanner right now on Warrior Trading Scanners on day trade dash. It's gone up 118% from its previous close. It's a lot. Relative volume. It's real low float. Let's see. We've got, it's above $1 now, so it meets my criteria. Good for you. Good for you, Illegos. Good for you. Yeah. I mean, I like having a drink now and then. I like wine, but it's like, I don't know. I wanted to lose weight, and then after a couple of weeks, I just was like, I don't know. Do I really need it? I don't know. I went to Prague recently for a week on vacation, and every restaurant has really delicious mocktails. Every bar has mocktails. You can just ask them, make me something sweet, or something yummy. Like this, I mean, if alcohol's not a problem for somebody, that's cool. And I love wine, but I'm just not feeling it. Yeah, remove ESPR because that's just that's an acquisition. That's not going anywhere. That price is not going anywhere. SKLZ. That keeps popping up all week. LZ. Ooh, but it is, yeah, it broke over VWAP. Let's see. But like I want to trade SOBR, but the profit loss ratio would be tough for me. So if this is more like a flat top breakout, I would have to set like a hard stop of like 10 cents a share on that in order to make that comfortable for me for a stop. But I want to do SOBR, but it's like, it is choppy. Although here the volume bars are decreasing, it's kind of pulling back. But I think I would want to see if it breaks this level. TLIH. Why did I take that off my chart? Whoops. TLIH. Well, that made a move, didn't it? But what's the reason why I took that off the chart? That looks good. Okay. This is a potential, but it's halted. I don't like halts. I've made good money in halts and I've been burned bad in halts. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's crazy. Look at that. But I don't think this price is going anywhere. I mean, I guess other people think it is. I'm not an expert on buyouts and acquisitions, but when I see this, it usually doesn't move much. Yes, it is thickly traded though. At 440. Okay. I don't know. Do you guys trade into halts? I have done it. The thing is, when you're new, I feel like, at least when I was last year, I tried a lot of things. And I tried too many things. Too many. And I got stuck in some halts. And if it goes the wrong way, ooh, at least at 100 shares a trade, I'm not going to do crazy damage. But yeah, I don't really. So I'm going to take ESPR off my list because I don't think that's doing anything. LABT. Yeah, this really didn't do much. I think it's done for the day, possibly. WTO. I don't know. I feel like it keeps tapping this level. I feel like there's a channel here. Keeps moving in this channel. So I don't know. I don't think WTO is dead yet. XXII. That's pretty much, that's a round trip. Look at that. It was here yesterday. It's back there. So I'm going to take that off my list. That made a round trip. FATN. FATN has a little bit more total volume. SKLZ also, it's just over a 500,000 total volume. It's like SOBR high of day. There we go. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's just a little, it's choppy for me. Like, I want to like it. I want to trade it, but like, if you look at let's look at the 5-minute. This is probably going to give me a much clearer picture of what's going on. So on the 5-minute, it's cleaner, but even on the 5-minute, look at this doji, right? Popped up, curled around. So this is definitely cleaner on the 5-minute, but it still looks choppy to me. Look at this doji. I don't like that. This is a topping tail. This is a topping tail. This is why I like multi-time frame alignment. I like to look at the 5-minute chart to see what is going on. It gives me a better picture. Oh, they blocked it. Someone said that earlier, right? Was it SOBR? Or did you say that earlier? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so looking at the 5-minute chart, this is where I find it really helpful to look at when I see something that looks choppy on the 1-minute. I definitely look at the 5-minute to see. And I used to have all the charts up at the same time, but it was getting a little distracting because I was trading off of the 1-minute chart and it was taking up a lot of real estate. And I want you guys to be able to see what's happening as well. But I don't love it. I mean, it is moving up, but I think because I've been so conservative, this is where I mean, it has news. It says they announced that they entered into a definitive agreement with Clean World Ventures for a proposed business combination that would result in the combined company operating under the Clean World Ventures name. Well, that sounds like an acquisition. With CWV expected to own approximately 98% of the entity upon closing. That sounds like an acquisition. I don't know. Let's see. Q is moving, but I think it's way below the high of day. Oh, okay. Yeah, too many dojis on SOBR. I agree that's making me pause. Oh, but so you can trade it in paper mode on Webull. It's just regular trading you can't. Okay, so on, yeah, so this doji right here. Oh, and now it's really falling way below the 9 EMA. Well, honestly, I feel like today has been a huge victory for me, guys. Huge victory because I did what I was supposed to do. I reduced my share size, reduced my exposure to the market. I took 2 good trades. One could have been better than the other, but it could have been a little bit better because I didn't use my exit indicator, but I had 2 good entries and exits. I am really, really happy with that. Wait, LABT is popping up again. Now it has news. Oh, that already had news. Okay. So anyway, I just want you guys to know that I'm going to stick with my plan of keeping my share size reduced until I've demonstrated consistency at 100 shares. And I will be developing some criteria for that. I'm not going to just feel it like I did before. Okay, I'm going to develop some criteria to decide to give me an idea of what would it take for me to be comfortable sizing back up. And maybe I won't go all the way to 500 shares. Maybe I'll do something like 200 or 300 shares next. Maybe an incremental sizing up. But I want to demonstrate consistency. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, today has been a huge change, right? So I'm really happy about that. And I hope you guys, if you keep trading, I hope you have a great trading session. I'm gonna get my recap done, and I'll be posting over in Substack about my exit indicators goal. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And let's get back to it on Monday. And, trade smart. Let's just keep improving 1% a day, guys. 1% a day. Have a great weekend.